Back in 2013, rapper Cam'ron and Rockefeller co-founder Damon Dash showed up on the O'Reilly Factor with Bill O'Reilly. The topic on paper was supposed to be about rap music's influence on the younger generation. But right from the jump, you could tell it wasn't going to be a smooth conversation. O'Reilly wasted no time setting the tone. He introduced Cam'ron by calling him Grammy nominee Cameron, who raps about pimping and the B-word, among other things, even pointing out his Purple Haze album. Then, without missing a beat, he went straight for the throat, challenging Cam'ron on whether his music influenced kids to make bad choices.
So we decided to get Grammy nominee Cam'ron, who raps about pimping and and among other things, and rap producer. What if he uses four-letter words and he develops a lifestyle based upon the street? He gets tattooed. He gets all this.
Okay,
yeah. Well, let me just end, and then you can jump in.
But before Cam could even answer, Damon Dash jumped in. Dash flipped it, saying if an 11-year-old wanted to imitate Cam'ron, what they'd actually be imitating was a CEO, somebody taking control of their own destiny, turning negative circumstances into something positive.
If an 11-year-old were to imitate Cam'ron, what they would be doing is becoming the CEO of their own company, controlling their own destiny, taking a bad situation and making it good.
The problem was, O'Reilly didn't care about balance. Even though he was supposed to be the moderator, he kept talking over Dash, cutting him off mid-sentence. Dash eventually called him out on it, which only made things tenser. From there, the debate just snowballed. Dash compared rap to movies like The Terminator, pointing out how nobody blames Arnold Schwarzenegger for the violence in those films. O'Reilly shot that down, saying Terminator was a cartoon while rap was real life.
When Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Terminator, he was shooting up half of everyone's sight.
It's a cartoon, though. This is more real.
Oh, the Terminator is not a cartoon.
This is real, though, isn't it?
Well,
in
no.
my life, everybody's rap is real.
This is real. It's not a Terminator cartoon. All right.
Then he went even harder, saying rap videos were especially damaging because of all the gun violence with no explanations or consequences attached. Meanwhile, Cam and Dash started noticing how frustrated O'Reilly was getting. Instead of being rattled, they thought it was hilarious. They began clowning him on air, with Cam'ron even saying, "I got dirt on you, doggy."
It's not about you because you feel like it might give you better ratings to portray something negative within the image of hip-hop.
Negative.
Yeah,
It's negative to make
you.
money, Mr. Dash, if you hurt children.
How do you hurt children by promoting to be an entrepreneur and a CEO and a
Hold it.
Why
You're looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad. Where'd you start? Current affair, right?
No, wrong.
Well,
you're looking
I got
at
dirt on you, doggy.
Cam'ron.
At the time, it seemed like just trash talk. But years later, when O'Reilly's career took a nosedive after multiple sensual harassment scandals came to light, Cam revealed that was exactly the dirt he had been hinting at. On an episode of the Drink Champs podcast, things got real heated real quick when DJ EFN and G-Unit's Tony Yayo clashed over the age-old debate. Who's the greatest rapper of all time? EFN said his personal favorite was Ice Cube, but Yayo took it as straight-up blasphemy. To him, Biggie wasn't just in the GOAT conversation. Biggie was the GOAT, no discussion needed.
Of all time, it's gonna be Ice Cube. I'm gonna go with Biggie. Okay. Ice Cube over Biggie? Yeah.
EFN stood his ground though. He argued Cube's storytelling was unmatched, bringing up his work with N.W.A. and solo projects like America's Most Wanted and Kill at Will as proof. Yayo wasn't hearing any of it. He basically told EFN he had lost his mind. Then, to hammer his point home, Yayo started spitting Biggie bars on the spot, as if to remind EFN and everyone listening of just how untouchable Biggie's lyricism really was.
You telling me Ice Cube is a better storyteller than Biggie?
Lyricist?
You
But Biggie's one of the best.
You lost
But Biggie's one of the best.
Today's agenda?
What agenda?
Got the suitcase up in the central. Go to the room, fill the frameless, leave all the niggas stainless. You saying Ice Cube got better balls than that?
For Yayo, comparing Ice Cube to Biggie was like comparing apples to oranges. They weren't even playing the same game. But EFN didn't back down, saying Cube doesn't get nearly enough credit for his influence and skill. What started as a friendly hip-hop debate turned into a passionate back and forth. almost like a rap battle without a beat. And as the drinks kept flowing, Yayo got more and more animated. He shifted from debate mode into full performance mode, rapping and arguing with the intensity of someone trying to settle this GOAT debate once and for all. The whole scene was chaotic, funny, and raw, exactly the kind of energy that makes Drink Champs so entertaining. In 2013, DMX appeared on Iyanla, Fix My Life, with the goal of repairing his strained relationship with his son, Xavier. At first, things were calm enough. Early on, Iyanla even tried to take a cigarette from DMX, which could have gone bad, but he brushed it off without making a scene. As the conversation with his son got underway, though, a pattern started forming. Every time DMX tried to speak directly to Xavier, Iyanla would jump in, trying to guide or frame the conversation. Her intentions might have been good, but DMX wasn't having it. He kept asking her to step back and let him talk to his son, man to man. The interruptions kept piling up, and you could see the frustration building in X.
Why would I bring you around a chick that
Can I just offer you a little bit?
Can I talk to my son, please?
Wait a minute.
Can I talk to my son, please?
Can I just offer you some
Lady,
insight?
please, I want to talk to my son.
But y'all are talking to each other.
Eventually, he hit his breaking point. When Iyanla tried once again to mediate, this time stepping in to help Xavier explain his feelings, DMX exploded. He lashed out at her, venting all the anger he'd been bottling up during the session. Finally, he got up and stormed out, ending the whole thing on the spot.
It was years ago.
Just one example. Just one, since I've done it so much. This is such a major part.
What about today?
Please, shut up, man.
No,
I'm talking about, no, listen, man. Listen, man.
I'm not intimidated
You
by
don't gotta be intimidated, man. Stop running your mouth.
What about today?
I'm not even gonna have this debate, man. And y'all
What about
talk.
today?
You do that.
And
we'll talk. We'll talk. Will she stop running the
The episode, instead of healing, turned into one of the most talked about blow-ups in Fix My Life history. Back in 2014, 50 Cent was on his promo run for a new project when he stopped by Power 999 for an interview. At first, he was talking music, breaking down his album, the usual press run talk. But then, the interviewer brought up beefs and conflicts from his past, and that's when things started getting a little heavier. Now, anybody who knows 50 knows he's not shy when it comes to addressing drama. He explained how, as his career blew up, the money gave him the kind of resources to deal with problems in a whole different way. He even reminded the interviewer about where he came from, that in his hood, life was cheap, and when someone said it's a go, things could really happen.
Find nothing that will make me afraid of the situation now because I have the resources. When I'm at the price of life, I grew up at the price of life is cheap.
The interviewer, either trying to be funny or just not reading the room, threw in a wild joke. He said if 50 ever put his hands on him, he'd be cashing out in court, double the money, big lawsuit, he'd be set for life. Maybe he thought he was lightening the mood, but that was the wrong move. 50 didn't crack a smile. Instead, he leaned all the way into the threat. He told the interviewer straight up that lawsuits don't scare him, because the same money the interviewer thought he'd get in a settlement could just as easily be used to hire the homies to pull up and put a couple of bullets in him.
Punch me in my mouth. I'm gonna get my man, Terrence, K.O. Lewis. I'm gonna get him to punch me in my mouth. Because then I wanna get double the money.
Oh, because it ain't gonna matter. Because I'm gonna take the same kind of money that you would get and give it to the homies. And go shoot the together. Couple times.
You could feel the energy in the room shift. Suddenly, this wasn't a playful back and forth. The interviewer tried to laugh it off, but you could tell he was shook. Also, in 2014, Onyx pulled up to the Breakfast Club. Since these are the guys who brought that raw, in-your-face, hardcore energy to hip-hop back in the 90s, the interview started out as you'd expect. Some reminiscing about their come-up, paying respect to Jam Master Jay, talking about their legacy. Everything was cool, but Charlamagne being Charlamagne, he couldn't resist stirring the pot. Out of nowhere, he brought up this old rumor from the 90s, that Fredro supposedly had a thing with Brandy. The moment those words left his mouth, you could see Fredro's whole energy shift. His face changed, his tone changed. He was tight. He immediately checked Charlamagne. basically telling him that was out of line.
/ actors.
Fredro was getting head from Brandy.
Go ahead, getting head from Brandy.
Stop with all that, man. But you need to stop with all that, though. See, this dude right here, man. Like, let that be what it's gonna be, son. Like, you bringing up the past, B.
For a second, it seemed like they were going to move past it and keep the interview going, but Fredro wasn't letting it slide that easy. A few minutes later, he came right back at Charlamagne, firing off his own personal shot. Fredro brought up that infamous story where Charlamagne got jumped outside the station and ran for his life. He mocked him, clowning the way Charlamagne ran off, calling him a coward. Charlamagne tried to defend himself, saying he ran because he didn't know what those guys had planned, but Fredro wasn't having it. He just kept piling on, making it clear that he wasn't impressed and that Charlamagne wasn't built like that. Then, to top it all off, Fredro circled back to that Brandy comment, letting Charlamagne know straight up he didn't like it, he didn't respect it, and he wasn't going to just brush it off.
Why we got an issue, bro?
Because you brought shit up that I ain't like, and I don't like that. I ain't no.
I ain't say you was, but you
don't
said
play
it.
Me like that, nigga. Breakfast Club.
Dude,
you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. That's what I'm saying. You can't do nothing, big man.
Fredro even reminded Charlamagne who he was dealing with. They were street guys, and Fredro made sure to let him know he was still a gangster at heart, not someone to be tested. Sticky sat back watching the fireworks. The whole exchange was wild, and it perfectly captured what makes the Breakfast Club both loved and hated. At one point, Kendrick Lamar sat down for what should have been a straightforward Q&A session with DJ Vic 1. Fans send in questions via Twitter. Vic reads them out loud, and Kendrick answers. But from the very first question, it was clear something was off. Instead of pulling from regular fans, Vic 1 seemed to be cherry-picking questions from accounts with names like "Not a Kendrick Lamar fan," "We hate Kendrick," and "Kendrick sucks." That alone should have been the red flag, but Vic rolled with it like it was no big deal. The questions themselves were very disrespectful. Stuff like, "Yo, are you ever gonna slow down your rap so people can actually understand you?" Or, "If you don't blow up, can Vic delete this video or would you get mad?" And then, "Do you feel like you're overrated, bro?" At first, Kendrick stayed calm, brushing them off with that signature cool demeanor. He laughed a little, answered lightly, and kept his composure. But as the pattern kept going, you could see it click in his head that Vic was intentionally fishing for the most negative ones.
Questions from not the Kendrick Lamar fan. Are you going to slow your raps down anytime soon? It's a real question, bro.
As soon as I slow his mom's down.
Finally, Kendrick called him out right there. He stopped playing along and told Vic 1 straight up that all the questions were coming from haters. Kendrick checked him for cherry-picking only the people who had a problem with him. And then, to put a stamp on it, he gave Vic a little warning not to keep playing games like that.
Last question for Kendrick right here, at Kendrick Sucks.
These motherfuckers some real haters, man.
Yeah,
why you picking these people?
Yeah, they just hit me up, bro. It's the only ones.
Getting me hot.
Thank you for all the Twitter questions for making this extra f***ed up. The whole Top Dog's in the building.
Yeah, we go f*** you up now because you picked them people.
Now, Kendrick's not the type to go full nuclear in interviews, so you could tell it was more about him making a point than actually threatening anything. In October 2016, Beanie Sigel walked into the Breakfast Club. At the time, Beans was already in the middle of drama with Meek Mill, and everyone in hip-hop knew it. So when Charlamagne Tha God sat down across from him, you could almost feel that tension waiting to bubble up. It didn't even take long. Literally seconds into the interview, Charlamagne cut right to the chase. He flat out called Beanie a hater, and his reasoning was that Beanie had just dropped a diss record aimed at Meek Mill, even though the two had been seen in the studio together a week before. For Charlamagne, that was fake behavior. Beanie shut it down immediately. He told Charlamagne, "I don't think you're qualified to even say I sound like a hater because you don't know all the particulars. How are you qualified to say I'm a hater? Hate on what?"
Sounding like a hater lately, man.
A hater?
Yeah.
How you say that? A hater?
Cause I feel like, you put out 2 diss records, but then you was in the studio with me like 8 days prior to the first diss record, and
I don't think you qualified to even say I sound like a hater because you don't know all the particulars. So how you qualified to say I'm a hater? Hate on what?
Charlamagne, being Charlamagne, didn't let up. He pressed Beanie even harder, suggesting that he only rides with people when there's something in it for him. He brought up how Meek had just put him on a song, implying Beanie stabbed him in the back right after. That's when Beanie explained his side, that he wasn't even supposed to be on that track. He just happened to be in the studio when Meek was recording, and it turned into a feature. But Charlamagne kept circling back, accusing him of pretending to be cool with Meek when deep down he wasn't. Beanie tried to make him understand the deeper layers of the situation, but Charlamagne was locked in on painting him as disloyal. And once you push Beanie Sigel too far, that calm explanation turns into fire real quick. By the last stretch of the interview, it was clear Charlamagne was deliberately poking him, trying to get under his skin, framing him in a negative light, keeping the Meek topic alive no matter how Beanie tried to move on. Then Charlamagne pushed one time too many, bringing up the beef yet again. That's when Beanie snapped. He told Charlamagne in no uncertain terms to not play with him.
In your mind, you still think he's not real, he's a sucker.
Why you keep harping on that? We answered that. We talked about that. So don't talk outside that because you want what you want. If you're saying you want unity, stop keep doing that, man. Don't stop playing with me, man. Stop running your mouth. It's dangerous.
The energy in the room was different after that. The clash was classic Charlamagne. He thrives off tension, pokes at sensitive topics, and forces guests into moments that go viral. Chicago YouTuber FYBJ Maine brought one of his own close associates, FBG Butter, to his platform. At first, everything seemed cool. The two of them sat down, and J Maine was asking the usual questions. But if you know J Maine's style, you know he likes to push buttons. And that's exactly what he did here. The vibe changed the moment J Maine started bringing up some very touchy allegations, snitching rumors involving King Lil J. J Maine would even turn the whole thing into a spectacle by reaching under the table and bringing out a mouse trap. FBG Butter clearly wasn't feeling it and told J Maine to chill out.
Another thing for your rap.
Boy, what? Come on, folks, playing with me, bro.
But J Maine would push it even further. Out came a big block of cheese, dropped right on the table in front of Butter. Everybody watching instantly knew what the reference was. That old stereotype connecting cheese with snitching. That was the breaking point for Butter, and he immediately pulled out a strap and cocked it right there on camera. In that moment, the room went from playful trolling to deadly serious. You could hear it in his voice when Butter told him he went too far.
It's a lot.
Come on, J Maine,
Bro.
folks. Come on, G. Come on, folks. Now that's too far, J Maine. We gonna start with this too far, J Maine, folks. What the? That's too far, folks.
Of course, when the clip hit the internet, it went viral instantly. Some fans sided with Butter, saying J Maine was out of line for taking the trolling that far. But a lot of others said Butter overreacted, pulling a gun over a joke and proving the snitch allegations were already getting under his skin. The backlash wasn't just online either. Once the video made its rounds, the police got wind of it. Suddenly, what started as a viral YouTube moment turned into a real legal problem. Butter was facing heat, and there was talk about possible gun charges coming his way. That's when he tried to backtrack, brushing it off like it was all just a skit, staged for entertainment. In 2019, Soulja Boy gave fans one of the wildest interviews on everyday struggle with DJ Akademiks that people are still talking about today. Midway through the interview, Akademiks did what Akademiks does best, poke at his guest just enough to get a reaction. He zeroed in on Soulja's now infamous Gucci headband. Akademiks clowned and basically told Soulja it was time to retire it, saying he wears it way too much. But Soulja wasn't having it. He started talking about how people love to clown him over little things like the headband, but they ignore the fact that he's rich. And to make sure everyone got the message, he pulled out huge stacks of cash right there on camera, waving them around.
I look good, I'm sexy. It is what it is. You gotta get rid of that Gucci headband, man. Like, no, you know what, this is a war now, because y'all keep clowning me, I'm gonna wear it even more, so y'all can keep talking. I love it, bro. I can go back. Oh, is that Drake? Oh, hold up.
For the rack shadows.
Oh, shit. I can go buy, you know what I'm saying, 30 of these headbands, bro.
Seconds later, Soulja lets Akademiks know he's mad since he tried to play like he was broke. And that's the main thing that pissed Soulja off because he starts going off on everybody on the show. From there, Soulja started issuing warnings. He told Akademiks and the rest of the hosts that they better start respecting him, or else. At one point, he even threatened to slap somebody right there in the studio. Soulja would go on to call Akademiks him a hater. He accused him of always focusing on the negatives in his career instead of giving him credit for the milestones.
I gotta face it and y'all gotta respect me, bro. I need the label behind me, bro. So I signed a deal. Yo, you just you a hater.
That's not hate.
Hater, you try to pull up the behind it. Nah, everybody know Drake stole my flow, bro, and that's the end of it.
By the time the clip hit the internet, it was everywhere. And that everyday struggle episode instantly became one of the most chaotic and talked about moments in rap interviews.